Grieving a loss of any type is very hard, but it's especially painful when we lose someone we love. I would like in this video to bring some thoughts about it and some reflections on what happens after death and what happens in our energy in such a condition. Please stay with me. Hello, welcome to the channel. I am Nancy Trivelato. Today we are going to discuss about such an important topic that touches all of our lives, but especially in this moment that we are going through such a great crisis in the world. So many people are dying. So many people are dying alone because it's almost like a war situation that people cannot have their loved ones close by and they cannot have the treatment and the care they deserve and they expected. But this is something that there is little we can do to change from an external situation. But from an energetic point of view, there are lots we can do, and especially for us to understand ourselves and what the other one may be going through. So I want to bring some ideas about this. But the first thing I would like to say is that I cannot be an authority and say anything about your pain, your loss. Each of you or each of us, I'll include myself, I have had my share of big losses. But each of us, we react in different ways depending on many different aspects of the context. And depending how much we know of the non-physical, spiritual world through our own out-of-body experiences, depending on the innate knowledge we have inside of us, depending on the context, there is so much there. I would like to talk to you first from the perspective of the out-of-body experience, what we see outside the body. What is it that I could comment, that I could try and bring some light into the topic? If for you, this is the case that you have lost someone and you are grieving and you would like to understand. And towards the end of this video, I would like to shift and discuss about the energetic processes that are related to you or to those who lost someone, those who are suffering. So we want to address what happens to those that leave us and how we here who stay can be more balanced. I'd like to start by saying that this is a very personal experience because, of course, we want to understand what happened to our loved ones who passed, but nothing is as strong as a personal experience. You meeting that person outside the body. You are with a physical body now, and if the person passed, they no longer have a physical body, but the consciousness, the essence exists. This is something that humankind believes, but each one from a different perspective, depending on their religion, depending on their rituals, depending on their culture. But that is an ancient knowledge. Would that be just because it's a wishful thinking or because of different experiences that people have? They know something else exists, but at the moment of interpreting, they interpret from the light of the culture and religion that they are immersed in. I'd say it's more of the second for a very specific reason. Throughout my life, so it's decades, over 3 decades, working with these topics, researching, lecturing throughout the whole world, I have heard so many testimonials, accounts of people who have had experiences that I look and say, wow, that is amazing. That's a revelation in certain aspect of what happens after death. Some people, they take it as is, but others, they try to run from it because it clashes with previous beliefs they had, especially when it clashes with strong religious beliefs. Nobody refuses the fact that we exist and we can be in the spiritual world after we die, but many people dispute the fact that we can go there and return in an as simple experience as the out-of-body experience. But the out-of-body experience can bring to us a lot of knowledge of what happens afterwards, as does the near-death experience. Problem with the near-death experience is that something we do not control. We have very interesting cases, but once we know the case, there's not much more we can do to research further. But for you, if you have out-of-body experience, or if you'd like to have, you can learn. Not everybody manage easily. Some people do. Some people have to work a little bit further, but you can do. And if we have an out-of-body experience, healthy, natural, instead of a near-death experience, which is traumatic, it's usually a cardiac arrest, it's a situation like an accident. So if it's under our control, we can explore more. We can repeat the experience. We can learn about this connection of the physical world with this non-physical, spiritual world that surrounds us all the time, that is interpenetrating with our reality all the time. But we many times don't notice, we many times don't observe, don't see, because we are hoping to see things only with our eyes. And our eyes, it's a very, very poor tool, because not even the physical world we see properly, and many times we have to wear our glasses and lenses because we don't see everything, not even physical. So let's trust in other senses that is not only what we see. Having said that, I bring back to the fact that even though nobody disputes something exists beyond this physical life, very many do not observe what it means to evolution, what it represents for us in terms of learning, growing, and perhaps even having more than one physical life. Does it make sense to you? For some people it's natural, it makes sense. For others it's like a crazy idea. For others it's like wishful thinking. But there are some research about this that we can at least, or we have to at least acknowledge that they are quite intriguing and hard to refute. But nonetheless, going back to our grief and how much it's painful to lose somebody, I have shared a video that I'm going to put here for you, in which I comment about meeting with someone we love outside the body. And many people do. Some of them, they just say, I never dreamed of my grandmother. Only once, but it was so real. It was so vivid. I felt it. And it was like such and such. And when they come with a report, we observe so many points in common. So many. So we can start evaluating the possibility of that experiencing having been more than just a dream. I'm sure that many of you who are right now watching this video have had experiences like this. But because of the imposition of society, one of the things, because if you say you met someone who is not now living in the physical body, many people will find that maybe you are a little strange. We also have to deal with fear. Many of us and many people fear even thinking of sensing around someone who has already passed away, or during their sleep being actually outside of the physical body and witnessing, interacting, living this reality that is not physical. And fear is a big obstacle. But I would like to ask you, just to put that aside for a moment, if that is you, to think about losing someone we love and what it represents. I think the number one thing that we have to do is remember that as much as we would like to still be with that person, the person also would like to be with us. Especially now with this COVID crisis and people dying alone, literally in hospitals or wherever, because they cannot receive visits. They cannot have all the care that they would normally, even though health professionals are doing so great, and most of them putting so much effort. But for them, what does it represent? This attachment and this condition of not being ready to let go of the other one many times causes that consciousness, that person, that loved one who just passed, may be out there missing you or missing the situations of life as much as we could be missing them. This is a supernatural condition. But if you don't understand energetically what that represents, it may become complex. I remember a situation in which I was talking to someone, and it's not like an everyday thing, but we were in a course. It's a workshop that we offer for people who completed the consciousness development program. So it's a very deep work with people with a lot of experience, and we try to connect with a bigger reality while we are still conscious here in the physical body. But anyways, throughout that process, somebody came to me with a story that touched me deeply. And what that gentleman told me, with tears going through his eyes, was that he had lost her daughter at a young age, 17, basically in his arms from one moment to another because she choked. And he was desperate to do something, and there was nothing that could be done. And he came with such anguish and pain, wanting to know, I want to know if she's okay. I want to know if she's okay. And I felt all of that inside of me, and I wanted to help. So for a moment, I started trying to make connections, because that type of energetic environment we create in that workshop allows us for a deeper connection with the non-physical reality. So even though I was not outside my body, I tried to start like, you know, when you are looking for someone, so trying to connect energetically with the signature, the energetic signature, information of the girl who had passed, that I was getting from him the feeling. So I went connecting until blah, I could see her. I could see her in a place that was in between lives. Of course, the place doesn't matter. The point is, I saw her features, I saw how she looked like, every detail. And then when I immediately come close and there is a energetic connection, and she knew there was a connection with the father, because my whole point was to get the energy of him, and through that energy bring a connection to her, or to find her through that connection, as if it was a GPS, if you understand what I mean, for a consciousness. And when I got there and she knew was the father, she knew was the family, the first thing that she transmitted to me was, is my father okay? Is my family okay? I want to know if they're okay. She was actually more concerned than they were. She was well, she was happy. But whatever she was doing, she could not let go of the idea of, I'm here okay, but I need to know if they are okay too. In the same way that sometimes we are here in our physical lives and somebody that we love or that is part of our life and our family passed away, and we feel like, I cannot live normally, not knowing where the person is, if everything is okay, not or knowing that they will never again be with me here in this life. Yes, that is sad, that's terrible. And it seems like an eternity, and it's very painful. And I think the pain doesn't go away easily. At least from my experiences, sometimes we start sensing energies and digging, and we see that there is so much of still the memories, the pain, the sadness. I wouldn't say it's pain everyday life, but it's in there what we have suffered. It's registered. But other experience will come on top of that, and they have to. It's natural. Life goes on. Not only for us who remain here, but for those who left. And if we do not manage to be able to grieve properly, If you have to cry, we cry. If we have to be sad, let's be sad. Look, I know of the existence beyond the body. I have had experience. I have met relatives who passed away. Actually, was once very strongly, and a second one that was not as clear and as strong as the first one, but I did. I know how it goes. And still, when I lose someone that is very close, and I am at an age that this has happened a few times, it's painful. I am sad. I don't necessarily cry just because it's a more peaceful type of sadness, but sometimes I cry a lot. Sometimes it is the process. So let yourself feel it, but please don't feed it. Look at the difference of feeling it and feeding it. Many people, they feed it. They cannot let it go because they think, if I let go of the pain, then I am betraying the person that I loved. I am betraying them because I cannot be fully happy if they are not here. I cannot be fully happy because never again the energy that I will experience in this life, the feeling that I will have, the connection that I have with other people and with the world will be the same, not having his or her presence and his or her energy together with me, experiencing all of that, but feeding, holding on to this sentiment of impossibility to solve a situation, of powerlessness and sadness, this hole that we feel inside, is not going to make the person better. Actually, on the contrary, we keep creating a mental connection, and by mental I mean energetic, with all of our emotions and our thoughts and our energy go with that, but it starts with our mind. That's what's going to guide everything. So we keep making that mental connection that holds the person also missing us, and life does not move on. And I frankly feel that it's so hard to go through this for us when we are in this moment. But I also think that we need to reflect about that, because I see many people that they either jump from I am not letting myself live freely and laugh and enjoy the moments that I can, even if in others I am sad. And then they jump to, okay, I'm not going to think about it, that's it. There will be a moment in which we remember less and less of that. But we have to allow this moment to come. Do not fake, but when you can, be without this memory and this energy of the loss. Allow yourself. That is a healing, not only for you, it's a healing for the person who has passed. And it's a healing for the world, because the more we have of these energies all around, the more we emit this information, this quality of energy, the more we serve as example to others to behave in the same way and have the same energies and feel in the same way, and the pain just grows. So respecting yourself, allow yourself to move on from the point of view of what happens to you, energetically speaking, which of course is connected to the person who has left this physical life. But the point here, the key, the epicenter, what we have to take care of is you at this point, because that is going to be the pivot of a lot of change. And the first step is to understand that we are not going to be affected in our energies by the sadness, by the loss, by the grief. We are also going to be affected in our energy field or by the energies around in a very objective way. It's not only emotions. It's very objective, because when we have somebody that had strong energetic connection with us, even if the person didn't live with you necessarily, but was someone that you had a strong energetic bond with, when the person is no longer at the same level of connection, there is some sort of pain in the energy body. I do not have a word to explain that is different. It is really, we feel that we can feel like a physical pain, but it's not physical. This is normal and this will pass. But what is very key here is to know what you can do about it. Because when we feel like that and we are sensing that breakage of the energetic connection that we had, the best is to tune with that and put energies of harmony, serenity. Think of that person well and think one day we will be together again for one time, or maybe you can repeat like twice in a few days apart. You are going to choose a good moment, a right moment. Think of that person and let go. Let go with love. Showing that life is much beyond the physical only. Life is much beyond you only. And there are loads of people that we love, even though right now they are not close to us. Remember, what we see in this life is just a very small fragment of reality. So put this good energy there. Let that person feel everything is okay and will be okay. And please be balanced. We are transmitting to that person. Please be balanced, be okay. And then you start healing yourself with that, because you also need to be okay. You are like patching the wounds, speaking in figurative terms, like the pain, the wounds, the sadness, the grief, with energy. But we patch the wounds of those who are non-physical, who are in between lives, and yours as well. Remember, you will use your memory, your energy, your wish for everything to go well. If you do this well done, in a moment that you are calm, everything is quiet, you have a proper environment, you are balanced emotionally, energetically. If you know how to do the velo technique that we teach here in the channel, do a velo technique and then go for this technique and allow all of that energy and all of those thoughts to heal this process. Wherever you are, I hope you are enduring this crisis, this isolation we are in. I hope you are well, your family is well, and we continue growing spiritually. That's what matters. That's what remains after we go through biological death. And perhaps, if you wish, we could one day do a live video on death and dying. Let me know in the comments if you think that's a good idea and you would like. And for now, I leave you all my best wishes, best energy. Hope the video was useful. Thank you very much. See you.